through just shy of about 2 hours. All right, Jen, let's send it back over to you.
Summer, but this morning we are looking ahead, way ahead to winter. The Old Farmer's Almanac is saying that this could be a very cold winter. And joining us live via Skype right now is Tim Clark. He's a contributing editor for the Old Farmer's Almanac based in New Hampshire. Tim, so glad to have you this morning.
Glad to be here, Jen.
You're getting us all a little nervous. Tell us what you're predicting this winter to be like.
We think most of the country is going to see a colder and snowier than normal winter.
All right, colder and snowier, and we're talking about a season when the Super Bowl for the first time is going to be held outdoors, cold weather location. What do you think about that?
Well, I hope that my team, the New England Patriots, is going to get there because we are a very good cold weather team. We practice and play in an open stadium in a very cold part of the region. So let it snow, that's what I say.
But the Old Farmer's Almanac does suggest that it might be a snowball.
Yes, indeed. We think it's going to be heavy rain and snow right there in the New York City area.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about how you make these predictions. The Old Farmer's Almanac has been around for 222 years. I know a lot of people swear by it. What's your formula?
Well, that's a secret, but we do have a formula. It's the same formula, approximately, that Robert B. Thomas used when he started this thing in 1792. And it involves the solar cycle, primarily. Some people know of it as the sunspot cycle, but scientists know that the amount of radiant energy being put out by the sun varies on about an 11-year cycle. And depending on what year of the cycle we're in, we can look back at history and see what happened in previous year 8, say, of each cycle, and start to make a more educated guess about what's happening. It's not the only factor we use. We look at climatology and meteorology. We know a lot more about ocean currents like El Nino, for example, but that allows us to narrow in on a pretty accurate forecast.
You know, Tim, the Old Farmer's Almanac, you're based in New Hampshire. Is this mainly a regional forecast for the Northeast, or do you do one for across the country?
We go right across the country, 16 different weather regions coast to coast, and we do Canada as well.
Can you tell us the difference between the Old Farmer's Almanac and the Farmer's Almanac?
We're older.
True.
We are the oldest continuously published periodical in North America. We began publishing when George Washington was the president.
Very cool. Well, Tim Clark, we are so glad to have you this morning. You're saying, the Old Farmer's Almanac is saying, a colder winter ahead. Coming up, we're going to talk with Dr. Greg Postel. We'll get the Weather Channel's point of view on what things are looking like as we peek ahead to the winter. Reynolds.
Okay, thanks so much. El Reynolds.